just when 10 DRG jawans and their driver was blown away by that IED in Dantewara's Arhanpur, the Scorpio driver who was just behind that blown vehicle was quick to think on his feet. There were 8 jawans traveling in that Scorpio, and the video we are showing you was recorded reportedly by the driver, who was a civilian driver who was taking those 8 jawans to safety. These 8 jawans in the SUV actually fired back at the Naxals. There was gunfire exchange, but the Naxals fled from the spot. This video now is important evidence. It tells us the circumstances in which the blast happened. It is crucial evidence that police and perhaps at a later stage NIA could also ascertain to convince the court about the magnitude of the crime of the CPI Maoists. Now, what has CNN News 18 learned as far as investigations so far are concerned? We learned, based on a preliminary assessment by the forensic teams, by the central teams that have gone on the ground, looks like that the entire road of Arhanpur where this blast happened, a tunnel had been dug below the top of that road. The soil from that has been found near the banks of a pond a few meters away from the crime scene. So the suspicion of the police is that this could have been work in progress for the last 7 to 10 days. So was this a trap then that was laid out, a proper planning that was done by Naxals, tunnel dug, soil thrown a distance away so that even if a road opening party comes, they don't see any disturbance on the top, because the top of the road looks smooth. It's only when you investigate below do you realize that a tunnel had been dug. Investigators, forensic teams, based on their preliminary assessment, have found that the kind of explosive used was the kind of explosive that is locally used for coal mining. This is a mixture of nitrate. Is it ammonium nitrate or potassium nitrate? That further test will reveal. So most likely this explosive was also stolen or robbed of the explosive that are used by mining companies which are operating in the vicinity. What they're also learning is that there are threats that have gone to the local villagers. There are some martyr DRG personnel who are from that vicinity, and their family members are also being threatened not to do their last rites. So that kind of blackmail is also being done by Naxals. So once again, to come back to this video that we have accessed, what does this video tell us? If you see the video, you can see the moment in which the blast happened. At least one person is visible carrying some kind of a backpack and running away from that area. Was that one of the CPI Maoist cadre responsible for this carnage? The police would want to ascertain. Then you hear somebody say, "Ud gaya bhaiya." I spoke to some of the eyewitnesses there who reached the spot a few moments after the incident. They say that this could be the voice of the driver who was who was filming the entire incident. That also tell you the shock that this blast really, the shock element that happened. But even in that shocked state, the DRG jawans who are survivors kept their wits and they fired back. So that is something which is commendable, that even in this situation, they decided to fire back. Now, Bhupesh Baghel has, paid his last respect to these martyr DRG jawan, 10 jawans and 1 civilian driver. But a lot of questions are being asked whether more should be done, whether because of no action happening in the last 2 years by the Naxals, the complacency has now really started plaguing the forces on the ground. But amidst those questions, the horror of what happened at Arhanpur is evident when 10 jawans were blown away. We are told now that the impact of the explosion was such that even the rifles that they were carrying were recovered in mangled state.